The other day, I did something that changed my life forever. I discovered by total chance a method of living that, well, brought me to the end of my life, and now past it. In short, I was able to speedrun life. I want to say it was just 3 days ago, but with how everything went, it's hard to say. It feels like it's been such a short amount of time, but what does that exactly mean for someone who's already beaten life once? I'm not sure. However, it all started when I was heading into work. I had just parked my car, and I was making my way to the entrance nearest the offices I worked in. It was a Friday, and I was in a pretty good mood as the weekend was just about to hit. Honestly, I never really considered Fridays much of a workday anyways. Everyone, myself included, was always so ready for the weekend. We spent more time talking about our plans and messing around than ever doing any real work. So, needless to say, I was happy. My arms were swinging, jolly. I was looking up at the bright blue sky. And then out of nowhere, the screech of a car. I was almost hit. But because of my happiness that day, my senses were sharper than ever. I had gotten a full 9 hours of sleep. I had drank 2 morning cups of coffee. I swiftly rolled out of the way as one of my coworkers pulled into a parking spot I had previously missed. "Morning, Tim," they said. "F you, Bob," I replied. My heart was beating fast. And then, strangely, I felt some small sensation of being dropped, if not only for an instant. I tried it again. "Tim, what the heck are you doing?" my coworker said with a laugh as he passed me. "Ha ha, see you in the office, silly guy." There it was again, that slight feeling of being dropped. I stopped in my moment of awe to flip my coworker the bird as I continued rolling around the parking lot. It hadn't just been a feeling. As I paid attention to where I was landing after my rolls, I noticed I was hovering maybe half an inch above the ground each time. This shouldn't be possible, I thought to myself as I finally headed into the office. The greetings of my coworkers fell into the background as I made my way through the halls, my thoughts ablaze with questions on what was going on with me. As I neared my cubicle, a tap on my shoulder brought me out of my thoughts. "You gonna keep that up, buddy?" It was Bob again. He seemed shorter than usual. "Huh? What?" "All that rolling, man. You had me thinking it was April Fool's." I looked at Bob, tilted my head, and then realized I had been unconsciously rolling through the halls of the building just prior. When I turned towards my cubicle and even thought about moving, there was this sudden urge to roll. It just felt faster. No, I knew it was faster somehow. And then I dropped again. Quite a few inches this time. My gaze had been brought level with Bob's. Without a word, I quickly rolled my way back out of the office and into the parking lot. I was hovering at least 5 inches above the ground by the time I got outside. At that point, I was still quite horrified by this game-breaking bug I had found in life. I knew that if I stopped rolling, I would fall again. So, I kept it up. A few hours later, I was soaring above through the blue skies. Just rolling to stay up there. Rolling to stay up there alive. I was getting tired, but I didn't know how long it would take for me to start falling if I stopped rolling, so I kept going. Sweat had stained the entirety of my shirt by this point, and I cursed myself for using this newfound power to climb up to such fatal heights. I had been a fool. But maybe there was hope yet. That first glitch of rolling into the air, that had unseated me from reality in an awful way. But this next one, when I sneezed while kneeling down to roll again, was what brought me to where I am now. Even though the sneeze had interrupted my roll, my body still lunged forward, guided by some unknown force. And then I tried it again, attempting to roll, but effectively canceling my own animation right before the roll began. My body lunged. It lunged forward even faster than before, closing the distance of multiple rolls in a fraction of a second. I paused. once again in awe of another new ability. I looked down at the city below. I had been saved. I could keep going without even much effort on my own part, and so I did it again. And I kept it up, well into outer space. As I kept going, stars began to sail by me faster and faster, points of light stretching into strings that all began to blend into one another. I think it was maybe at this point that time had lost meaning for me. I had used the roll cancel technique so much so that I was crossing galaxies now in mere seconds. The blur of star streaks, it eventually became an opaque white that covered all sides of my vision. And then I stopped there. Where I should have been going faster than light itself, I stopped in what seemed like the infinite expanse of a white room. I was only idle there for a little bit, and with perfect timing, only one other entity flashed into that scene. In big, bold red letters, it read, "You win." The text just hovered there, somewhere out in the space in front of me, large enough to dwarf me several thousand times over. That was it. That was the end of my first life. That was the last thing I remember before I woke up 2 days ago in my usual bed, in my usual house, as if nothing ever happened at all. At first, I thought it was all a dream, that nothing really did happen. The thing is, I'm finally starting to notice some changes. It's Monday, and when I think about getting up to go to work, normally I'd be fine, but I have this terrible anxiousness about it that I've never had before. And now, when I try to read things at a distance, well, things are just a little bit more blurry. I don't think I need glasses yet, but I might eventually. And I checked several times, and I'm certain I'm a whole inch shorter than I was only a few days ago. I think I really did beat life, and I think that now, I think I'm on New Game Plus. Everything's just a little bit harder.